Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to an airbrush review. We are looking at an Infinity today, and it is the Kyiv Dark Infinity on a 02 needle and nozzle. This is full aluminium, this brush, guys, so it's very light in your hand, and where I'm used to sort of a heavier brush, sometimes with people like that can feel alien putting something really light in your hand. So today's review, we're going to put a bit of paint in the brush, and instead of doing dots and lines, we're going to do a little bit of painting on this portrait. We'll just add to this portrait that I've done, probably drop a little bit of colour in there or something, but I'll just chat to you as I'm painting and tell you about the brush, what sort of feedback I'm getting out of it, what's the control like, just a little bit more sort of up close with it than just doing dots and lines. So let's move in and test the Infinity Dark. Right, so there's the brush, guys. Really nice matte black finish. On your other Infinities, you've got like your gold ring here. This one's like it's like a silver, like anodized silver. Your quick fix to the back is gold on the normal Infinities. This one's another one, like an anodized. Got your blue bar on there and your gold trigger. So a very light brush. When you take the back off these, you've got the same setup as a normal Infinity. You chuck for your needle, and then you've got your adjuster for your tension on your trigger spring here. Strips down exactly the same. You've got your floating needle and nozzle to the front. This one's coming in on a 02. So that's basically the brush. Nice laser etching down the side. But the first thing you notice is the weight of it. It's just so light. It's like picking up a plastic pen. It doesn't feel like an airbrush. It just feels like a toy when you pick up the aluminium ones. But they are solid. So we'll drop some paint in it, and we'll just have a little play on this portrait, just add a little bit of paint. I'm going to go back in. If you watch this video, I was using the smoke black. So literally just going to go in and tint around on this piece. So spraying wise, if you're used to an Infinity, it sprays identical if you've got an original Infinity. What you will see the changes in this is will be the weight for you when you pick it up. It's a lot lighter. It's just adding some shading. Now H&S's really do atomize well. I've always found that with their brushes, they just atomize really good. Trigger response on this is really on point. There's no delay, but you'll find this when you're using thinner paints. You'll find your trigger response becomes more precise when you've got the right paint consistency in than using real thick paints. I'm just literally just toning over this, just dropping a little bit of the tone in. Knocking things back a bit. Darkening things off. Up close with it, works brilliant. On point with the trigger. For your small stuff, 02 is a real good one to go for. If you want your detail, a great all-round setup, I think. It's just a good one to get on with. It will just cope with everything, apart from your real thick paints. Just working round, just going around darks. For tiny little details, and this brush will do it. It'll hit the tiny little stuff, not a problem. So very comfortable to use, extremely light in the hand, easy to change your needle and nozzle setups in the front because they're floating. You just unscrew the front ends and you can change it up to what size you want. If you wanted to drop the 015 in this, you'd buy the needle and nozzle combo with it. in the tube and change it over. If you wanted a 0.28 out the EBO, you could put that in here. So they're all interchangeable. The needle and nozzles are interchangeable on the brushes, which makes them really versatile. Quick fix to the back, you click that in. What you do is you set this, click it in, and you see how the trigger's locked out now? If I want to adjust it, just move back slightly, click it in, and I've got minimal trigger. So now I can just take it back to that little stop, and it will put that amount of paint down. And if I want full trigger again, just release it, and then I've got full trigger movement. So they are handy, them on the back, especially if you just have it set to like that, and it's back to that again, your detail setting. So if you want minimal paint, set it to your detail setting, then you can work your mini little details like that, putting little dots in, a little bit of texture, and then when you want to do a broader spray, just unclip, and you're back again, back on the detail, clip it in, and go back in again. So yeah, it's a cool little feature on the back of the brush. They've been on the Infinities, I think, from day dot, these, but just really good design how it does that. You just clip it in and clip it out. You get your prong cap on these as well, and you also get your protector cap that goes over, that's in the box. Really good. They just perform every time. And they're easy to clean, easy to strip down, easy to clean. You'll just get on with it. The parts are reasonable price, you're not going to get caned on spares. Unlike some brushes, you can get really hammered on spare parts. H&S's are reasonable priced, but you know the parts you're getting are good. So it's very rare you have to replace parts on them. If anything, you'll just be upgrading it for the different needle and nozzle combo swap up. That's all you'll be doing, because nothing really wears out on them really. Very rare. You've got a Teflon on your floating nozzle. When you take these off, I'll just empty the paint and I'll show you. So just slide your needle back like that, and then when you take the fronts off, a little bit of paint there, you see the little white piece there, that's the floating nozzle. So that slides out the air cap like that, and that's like a Teflon, like PTFE Teflon washer that goes there. So that's solvent proof, so any solvents that are going through, you're not going to get any damage. You get a little rubber O-ring here that just seats up to the body, the outer of the body, and just closes that seal. Because if you've had any experiences with airbrushes where people say when they press on the trigger, do that, and they're getting bubbles in the cup and getting bubbles coming up, that's because this front end isn't sealed. Remember, this is where the air's coming through. So if you undo this, I'll just demo this now for you. If I put some water in, we've got water in there, so we can just spray it like that with water. Now if you slightly undo this, see it? See the bubbles? And that's what it does. The minute this comes loose, that's what people get, and they wonder what it is. It's just the nipping this front end up, and then it's gone. It's just sealing that air cap to the body. That's all it is. So that's why you have the black rubber one on the front of the H&S, so you can just nip that up to the body. You're not going to worry about solvents, because you're not going to touch solvents on that piece, because it goes to the inner on this. When you look at these and unscrew them, just empty that out. On the inside of the brushes, in there, that Teflon washer goes up to that little flat plate in there and does a seal, and then the air comes round that and down and into the air cap. So your Teflon washers seal into the body, so you're not going to get any paint around this rubber O-ring on the front. it just makes a real nice seal to the front of the brush, because a lot of brushes leak and people are putting beeswax on them around the seal. But if you were to change anything on this brush after years and years of use, it'll probably be the Teflon washer, where it's slightly flattened and compressed a bit, where you're unscrewing and screwing the nozzles off. But the Teflon washers are dirt cheap for these. They really are. They're not expensive. You can buy kits, like a maintenance kit, which will give you the full washer set up. So you get your Teflon one, you get the rubber one, you get a packing washer that sits in the body here, that you put in from the inside, so where your needle goes down into the brush. If you take all this assembly out here, just unscrew it, lift the trigger out and look down inside the brush here, there's a little like Teflon packing washer here that sits, and they just go in on a little screw. And when you tighten that up, what that does is it just makes the needle feel tighter to the body when you're sliding through. You'll feel it when you push the needle in. If the packing washer is really tight, the needle will go sort of stiff. You want it to just be slightly undone, so you've got a little bit of movement going backwards and forwards with the needle. But that's it. They're just really simple, easy brushes to get on with, and that's why I always sort of recommend them, guys, because they do the job. I'm using them on the channel. I'm always using H&S's on the channel, and they just work. They really do. So a great brush. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts if you own an Infinity Kyiv Dark or a Chameleon similar, because that's an aluminium I think as well. Some great brushes, great designs by H&S. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you lot in the next one. Cheers.